Moving on, we are going to go to the last mission of the Anglo campaign. So yeah, we're going through all the Anglo missions in this one. Because every Anglo mission does have units that you don't use in single player. And then after this, I think we just have one more mission to go to. And it's going to be from the Iron Legion campaign. Which is nice, because then we get to see old school Solar Empire. Even though they look the same as new school Solar Empire.
Bracing weather this morning, eh, Commander? Fine day to give the enemy a taste of Anglo steel, I'd say.
In case you're wondering why I'm playing as a Solar Empire, I mean an Anglo Isles unit right now. It's complicated, but in this mission, the only way I could get this mission to load is to play as this specific grunt from the beginning. So, sadly, I have some Anglo grunts under my command, despite being Solar Empire, but try to overlook that. I'm gonna try to figure out why the game crashes if I spawn as any other unit, but I already spent a lot of time and I couldn't figure out what the cause was, so I gave up for now. And there's what I'm looking for. The Solar Empire Fighter. Despite what a lot of people think, this actually shows up in two missions. This is the main mission that everyone remembers it from. But it's actually in the very first mission of the game. If you remember, the ending cutscene for the first mission has Solar Empire fighters show up after you successfully defend the Solar Empire airbase. And because they exist in that mission, I was able to add another one and play as it in the first mission. But the reason why I chose this mission is, one, it's way more interesting, and two, there's a lot more free space to fly around in. In the first mission, there's a whole lot of out-of-bounds areas, so if you're trying to fly around, you just go out of bounds constantly, unintentionally. Now, the thing about the Solar Empire Fighter that you might remember from the first game, its shots are completely silent. When you shoot, it doesn't make any noise, which is kind of interesting. And this is a cool unit. A lot of people like the Solar Empire Fighter, so kind of a bummer that you don't actually get to use it in this game. Normally, anyway. Oh. That fighter needs to get off my tail. Oh. We'll have another one, so it's fine. I'll capture their airbase by the time this is done. I want to have a little bit of fun, though, flying around. Oh, while I'm here, let me quickly show the gunship, even though I can show this in the next mission. I'm probably going to get shot down. The Solar Empire gunship, you get to use a lot online. So it's not like the fighter in terms of being like a really special unit that only shows up in one mission. But I do like their gunship. I think it's like really cool, and I like the design for it. I'm going to destroy this bomber with it. It's always amusing when gunships can be used to destroy bombers. And in the second game, since you can actually aim up easier than the first game, it's actually more of a viable thing. Okay, I think we showed enough of that. Let's try to capture their airbase. Shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Clear out the remaining enemy units. Only then can I dispatch reinforcements, Commander.
Ah! Gunships don't stand a chance against those fighters. I don't want to play as that stupid grunt. Oh, he died.
Without infantry, we won't be able to re-raise our flag. Tighten your air defenses until reinforcements arrive.
Actually, I could just use my anti-air veterans to take out this bomber. But since they're the only infantry under my command right now, so I'm going to use them to capture the airbase. And the reason for that is, I can't have the Solar Empire grunts under my command because one thing that I learned is if you have too many units under your command, it actually causes a crash. Or it's either too many units in general or too many of a certain kind of unit. So by making it so the grunts aren't under my command, I was able to make the mission not crash. And we got the airbase, so yay. Also, this mission is probably the mission I want to turn into an online mission the most. I think it would be the most interesting. And it's already set up really well to be an online mission, like with both armies having an airbase. You probably need to do some balancing because bombers are generally thought to be more valuable than gunships. But I'm sure we could figure out a way to balance it as kind of like a skirmish assault hybrid type mission where you have to capture the enemy airbase to win. And now for the last mission, we're going to Incursion.
The Solar Empire
I was actually going to do the last mission, which is Apocalypse, I think. But Incursion's actually a better mission for it, for multiple reasons.
Old Exylvania, 200 years.
And we can skip the intro. So here it is. The Mordor Veteran is the unit the last unit that we need to show for the Solar Empire. Surprisingly, actually. But you don't ever use the Mordor Veteran online or in single player. At least I don't think you do. It's actually been a while since I've checked online. And I can remember most units that you use online, but I'm almost positive that you don't ever use the Mordor Veteran. So, he shows up in 2 missions, the first and last mission of the Iron Legion campaign. And he functions just like any other Mordor Veteran. Nothing too noteworthy about him. But again, cool design. And it's nice that they added so many units for these other factions or other armies for the second game. Like, they added a lot of units for the Iron Legion and Solar Empire, since in the first game neither of those armies had very many units. We have a lot of gunships at this mission. Like a ridiculous amount that are just kind of grounded here. And the reason for that is because they're going to take off once we actually start doing stuff. And we have artillery here too, so I could have showed the artillery in this mission, but chose not to.
Gunship pilot, your primary target is the battle station. Let your rockets fly like the wind.
And those gunships that are just kind of sitting there, they actually won't do anything even if I try to get them to follow me until Empress Kalen decides to tell them to get moving, and then they'll actually do stuff.
Lord Varrock must not be permitted to deploy the Terra tank. The battle station must be destroyed.
That's exactly what we're gonna do. I think it's a good way to end the video. Try to destroy the battle station. And they have a lot of anti-air veterans, so I'm gonna lose a gunship. Which is fine because I have 9 more. It's definitely not a problem. Although that's a problem.
Elite assault veterans advance. Smash the enemy.
And in this mission, just like the previous mission I showed, I had to take off some units from being under my command, like the rifle grunts, because again, there were too many and it was causing the game to crash. But they are still there. They're just not actually under my command. But they'll still try to destroy the battle station and everything. Where's that gunship at? I guess I'll just wait for reinforcements so that I can destroy this. It'll take forever with just the Mordor Veteran. And rifle grunts do like no damage to it. So. Oh well, I do have gunships. And yeah, the light tanks aren't under my command either. But I didn't really worry about that.
The loss of my prototype battle station is unacceptable. You have failed me for the last time. Mission failed.
So that was it. That was the Mordor Veteran. Okay, so I actually forgot a couple of units I wanted to show. And again, not really units, but tower type things. And you can't control transfer them by, you know, doing it the way you normally do. Oops. Which would be locking onto it and holding A. But they do count as structures, surprisingly, so as you just saw, I could order my units to defend it. But, actually I want to move them away from it. If I get destroyed close enough to it, I did mention this in my, the Reckoning modding video for the Exylvanian Mining Spider turret. But if you get destroyed close enough to it, you'll still control transfer to it, which is pretty weird. And the camera on these is just completely broken, as you can see. You can't even see what you're doing, no matter if you zoom in or zoom out. But you can shoot. But really not a good time when you're playing as this thing. So that's that. Okay, I actually forgot more units than I thought. I forgot a couple of towers, which was the stolen tower that I showed just a second ago, and then also the anti-air tower over here. But I also forgot to show the transport units, which is not surprising because they're really dumb and useless. Well, they're not useless, they're good because they transport units, but you can't really do much when you're playing as them. So, just quickly, this is the air transport, and you can just kind of fly around. Unlike the first game, you can't land, and I can't drop off the units that I have in here. So, I don't know why that is, but on the flip side, it's actually easier to control than they are in the first game, so that's kind of nice. It's not nearly as finicky. Okay, and this is the anti-air tower, which at least it functions better than the stolen tower, because you can see what you're doing. But it's also still kind of weird, because it likes to try to like reposition you every couple seconds. I don't know why that is. And I have nothing to shoot at right now, so I can't really demonstrate it all that much. But yeah, that's it. That's anti-air tower. Okay, and the last unit, and this is actually the last unit this time, is the naval transport. I didn't even think to use it because I'm so used to just not using it. And just like the air transport, you can't land at the beach. It doesn't let you. Probably because it needs to be in move mode or something. But, so pretty much when you play as it, it's completely useless. And the only form of attack it has is like a little machine gun on the back. Another thing that I should note is if you try to order a naval transport or an air transport to attack enemy units, it'll just freeze the game. So, not a good idea to do that. I'll just casually try to land, and yeah, it doesn't work. I don't know if it would be possible to fix it at all to make it work, but I also don't think it would be worth putting any time and effort into, since when is anyone going to want to play as a naval transport anyway? So yeah, that's that. Okay, so that was actually all of the Solar Empire units, as far as I know. If I missed any, please tell me. But I don't think I did. I at least got all the main ones. And I'm not going to do something like... I mean, it was probably pointless to even show the transports and the towers that I showed. But I'm not going to show something like the little static gun emplacements that spawn at the base, because that would be even more unnecessary, so... I hope you enjoyed this. Next time I will be doing the Western Frontier units, so I will see you then.